Hi, everybody. It's Karen Anderson here with aortichope and Greg Aaron Greenberg. And we are so excited to bring this past week's Week in Review live to you with a special guest, one of our Hope ambassadors, Lala Grau. I hope I did that right.
Yes, that was perfect. Hi.
Wonderful. So, for all of you that are joining us here live, as you know, we discuss all of the topics that we share with everybody on our Facebook page as well as our website from the week prior, in hopes that everybody who's part of this community that isn't part of Facebook has an opportunity to learn about all of the fun stuff we've shared. And if you're here, please like and subscribe below and comment. Give us a little hi and we'll give you a little shout out. So, take it away, Greg.
Hi, Karen. And hi, Lala. Yes, this, like you said, this is our week in review. This goes back to October 25th, I want to say.
Yeah,
Yes,
the 25th.
October 25th. And it starts with our Movement for Movement Monday. And we've stated this before on our shows. We've started a movement for movement. Check out the article that in the link below from Harvard Health Publishing titled Why You Should Move or Even Just a Little Throughout the Day. It goes into detail about the effects of how sitting for long, uninterrupted periods of time may leave you more prone to cardiovascular problems. And as we all know, doing nothing is doing something. However, many of us need some support to simply get moving. And that is whatever that may be for you. So it's time to do something, anything, just move. And of course, as always, we want you following your doctor's orders, but do whatever he or she has cleared you to do. This can be sit and fold laundry, walk to the mailbox, walk around the mall, stroll outside, walk around the inside of your home, try the stairs. But whatever you do, we just want you moving. And whatever you are cleared to do will be good for you. Sometimes fear can hold us back. Fear that aneurysm will grow if we move too much. Fear we will get too tired. Fear we can get hurt. If you were cleared by your doctor, it's time to work through that fear. We can do that together. We'll be providing gentle reminders throughout the months and giving away random prizes for those that submit descriptions or pictures when we ask for them. So that pretty much wraps up our Monday. And Karen, I will throw it to you first about, your thoughts on how you get moving and such.
Well, so it looks like there may have been a technical glitch in this one, unfortunately. I thought that we had attached an article to this post online, but we did not. But there was an article that made it to our Facebook page. Oh, you do have it right there. There's the link. Okay, yes. So really what this article tends to discuss is a variety of things that you can do, as Greg had mentioned. And what I found really interesting is the first one, which was to set a reminder. Like, who would think to set a reminder? But I think for some of us, having a reminder for anything that we do in the course of a day is really beneficial and helpful. So if your phone just goes off and that tells you to move, that's great. I think a lot of watches now, at least I know mine, will buzz me and be like, hey, you've been sitting too long, get off your butt and go take a walk, or something along those lines is what it says. But so setting a reminder is great. And try to take care of your chores in a less efficient manner, believe it or not, is one of the ways that you can increase your activity. So maybe don't do it in a way that makes you get through it really quickly. Take the long way, just like they say to park farther away if you can, or try to take the stairs, whether it's at least up or down. Just try to move. Try to do your tidying up while you're on a phone call, because that's doing two different things at one time. And even when you're watching TV, if you can just get up and move around. I had purchased during COVID one of those little, it's like a little mini bike. It's just a pedaler. And so sometimes I'll just sit and pedal while I'm watching a show. But I see that, Laura, it looks like you're coming live to us from work. Is that the case?
Yes, that is the case.
So what you represent a variety of people that are in the community. What do you do to just make sure you're just not trapped and stuck to the headset all day long?
Yeah, so I was telling Greg, I'm very new to my diagnosis. I've only known for like 2 weeks. So I'm still trying to figure out like the physical activity component, but my work is cool, so they provide sit-stand desks. So I try to like mix it up that way, and then I just take laps around my campus just to walk a lot. I am a very active person usually, so I'm still trying to figure out like, can I really actually do that, or should I probably, like, I'm a rock climber and a skier, and so I'm still figuring out what I can actually really do otherwise.
I just saw Greg's face when you said skier, and I looked up. We were both thinking the same exact thing.
Mine was more the rock climbing. I was like,
Yeah.
Yep,
and
that's what's
I
going
know,
through
I
my
know
head.
people argue with the skiing that a fall
Mhm,
and that's going to be the concern.
mhm,
I would lean towards the rock climbing and pulling your
mhm,
your own body weight up would
mhm.
be the scarier potential restriction.
Yep.
But
Yeah, so I'm currently waiting for an email back from my doctor because I was like, listen, I don't think you understood how active I am when you said I could continue being active. So still have to figure all that out.
yeah, I think
Yeah, go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
I was just going to say, you're still going to be able, if you're active enough, you're still going to be able to be active with
Mm-hmm.
where you're at. You're just going to have to be conscious of certain
Mm-hmm.
things like your heart rate,
Mm-hmm.
that your heart rate actually decreases when you stop the activity,
Mm-hmm.
your blood pressure, and stuff like that. There may be a restriction or two, but I assume that if you're that active, you have enough things in your arsenal that if one thing kind of takes a little bit of a break for a short period,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have other things that can fulfill
Mm-hmm.
your needs successfully.
Yeah. Still navigating, but we'll figure it out.
You'll figure it all out. Hey, Kevin Thomas, how are you? Well, oh, that's great. So Kevin sets reminders, which is, again, I might need to just start setting a reminder to do something, even though I feel like I do a lot, but I guess if my watch tells me it's time to get up, then I'm clearly not doing enough. And I was gone last week in Disney, did a lot of moving. That was a lot of moving. And what I found, which was interesting, is after walking for extended periods of time, once I would sit and take a break, that's when I started feeling a little bit more lightheaded because my blood pressure really took a dip after being so strenuous. And I wasn't used to that because clearly I don't move enough. I didn't remember that sensation, but I was actually on the phone with my doctors and texting saying, can I ride the Tower of Terror? Can I ride this little baby coaster that's in Harry Potter? And they're like, no, what? No, you can't do, no. So, well, can I ride this? It's for 5-year-olds. No, like get on Dumbo and that's about as good as you can get. Now, it wasn't that bad, but with 7 years out, I'm still trying to navigate how much movement I can do and the types of movement. So, but as long as you're moving, I guess that's all that matters, right? Everybody
That
figures
is
it out.
that is absolutely all that matters.
Yeah.
Got to get moving. Um, First off, for people like us post surgery, it's the best way of staying healthy, moving forward, and managing this chronic illness. And even for uh, Lala over there and the crowd of in the community that's pre-surgical, you want to be in the best shape possible when it comes time to address it because it's going to make your recovery easier.
Right.
So that's the important thing, I think, for everyone, whether you're pre or post-surgical, to understand that being active and being mobile is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And with that, we will move on to Topic Tuesday. And this Topic Tuesday was an interesting one. And it's about cardiac rehab or physical therapy. Maybe it's both. That is a question that is often brought up within the community. In the article by Live Well Clinic titled, What is the Difference Between Cardiac Rehab and Physical Therapy? They explain how both programs serve their own purpose and focus on different essential parts of the body. You can check out the article below with the link and start a conversation today with your physician as to which program may be right for you. Now, Karen, you had traditional cardiac rehab.
I did both. So what I started off with was physical therapy. And as it says in the article, it's really physical therapy can help anyone. So that's the overarching. And it's not meant to only help improve your health, but it helps you to prevent any future injuries. So what are the things that I got out of physical therapy in the beginning was to learn how to handle balance. This is, of course, we're talking about after having surgery, was just to learn balance and breath work. And build confidence, because you can't sit with a normal posture for many weeks while the sternum is healing. So in physical therapy, it was breathing, it was building confidence that I could sit, that I can stand, that I can take a few steps. And then so the difference really between physical therapy and cardiac rehab, because I think a lot of people believe cardiac rehab is strictly for those that have had heart attacks or have had operations and surgeries on the heart. But what does that mean for those of us where it's been the aorta? Well, number one, not every insurance covers it. A lot of times they will only cover it if it involves the valve, but there are many cases where they will cover it if it doesn't involve the valve. And I had that covered for me. And it's basically cardiac rehab is physical therapy for your cardiovascular system. So this type of rehab, it is with leads. You do have leads on your chest. So are you continuously being monitored? And they do take your blood pressure before, during, and after to see how you're doing beforehand, the peak that you reach of your heart rate and your blood pressure, as well as recovery, which is also equally important. And, in cardiac rehab, sometimes you just start off with maybe a minute. It's just initially a minute of walking slowly on a flat treadmill, and eventually they increase the incline or the speed. It could be then going to a minute on a bike. Very small weights, maybe 2-pounders. But they put you on a variety of different items. And then they also teach you nutrition. So it's a whole educational component as well. And they do talk about PTSD and mental health. So a good cardiac rehab program, typically out of a hospital setting, is just physical therapy for your cardiovascular endurance. And it's a good way to be monitored. Having said that, you can also find a DPT, or a doctor of physical therapy, to monitor you via your heart rate and your blood pressure as well in a physical therapy setting, and they will report those numbers back to your doctor. So they can manage that as well. So I had both. It's a lot of work. And I hate working now.
Now, for me, I did not have a cardiac rehab. I had a physical therapy. However, my physical therapist was somebody that came from a background of working with cardiac patients before, and mostly cardiac patients or TBI injuries. And obviously, post my amputations, I had a lot of different challenges to actually get up out of a wheelchair and not use a walker. So that's what we were really focused on. But like you said, there were stops. I felt as if she had my best protections in place, like for reading blood pressures, what certain activities were doing to me, and everything along the lines of that. So I did feel like I had the crutch of being watched, like you would be in a cardiac rehab setting, like really being watched. And for a lot of, this is something to take to your physicians and something to potentially discuss when it comes time for surgery.
Adding it to my long list of questions.
Yeah, exactly. This is, I would take a chance, read the article. Like Karen said, there are a lot of people that do not, that don't stop singing the praises in the community about cardiac rehab. You'll hear that immensely across the board. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't do it, stuff like that. So if it's made available to you and your doctor gives that as an option, I say go for it. I'm sure Karen would agree, go for it.
And until then, if you're in a situation where you're newly diagnosed in the very least, you want to make sure that your cardiologist is someone that is very well versed with aortic disease, and because they aren't all the same. So you can have very good cardiologists that just typically don't see individuals like us, and then there are people that this is all they do all day. So if you get somebody out of an aortic disease center or somebody who really is well versed in this, they will tell you, hey, Lala, take a look at your heart rate before, during, after. This is how long after. This is where I want your target range. And you can just do this yourself, but you want to make sure that they have those conversations with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Greg, I don't think we actually had something on Wednesday, except I know we talked with the community just as. So Kevin had just mentioned his insurance did not cover cardiac rehab, which is something I said before. A lot of times they won't, because it's still that old school thinking that cardiac rehab is strictly for the heart. So for individuals that do not get that covered, I would strongly recommend that you talk to your surgeon or cardiologist about getting a script to go to PT. And you can actually do that at any time. If you're feeling that you still don't have the right stamina, I mean, I got a script for it not too long ago, and I'm almost 7 years out. So they are open to giving the scripts for PT. Cardiac rehab can be a little tricky.
And I think you bring up a good point there, because a lot of us think of PT as nursing that shoulder injury or that specific knee injury. And like you said, balance and increasing stamina and everything like that, they will very often give you a prescription for PT for that. So with that, Wednesday, you brought up, we did talk to some community members. We held our Halloween bingo, which was a blast. We had a lot of fun. Not quite the turnout that we had hoped, but still a good one. A lot of it had to do with the fact that we probably canceled from the week before, unfortunately, due to technical difficulties. But it was great to see everyone, and we had a lot of fun playing. Karen, you were unavailable for the week since you were away at Disney. But
I was having sprinkled as pixie dust.
Yes, you had magic sprinkled pixie dust poured over you as opposed to playing. But we missed you, and we look forward to getting everyone together again for the next event like that.
It's okay. I have my mask always on hand in case I ever need to just put it on. There it is. Hideous mask.
Mine still sits right here.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good.
But with that, we will move on to our Thursday. And with Thursday, and obviously this being last week and a little bit of our time travel past, we were looking at the upcoming Halloween, and we talked about haunted houses. And this was part of our Therapeutic Thursday, and we called it Thriller Thursday this past week. And with Halloween right around the corner, remember, we're flashbacking. We thought it would be a great idea to share an article about how being scared or startled, such as in a haunted house, could adversely affect your blood pressure. This article is from today, written by Jeff Rosen and Lindsay Bomden, titled Caution, Haunted Houses May Be Hazardous to Your Heart. Read about what actually happens to your body when you walk through a haunted house. Today, National Investigative Correspondent Jeff Rosen dared venture into Blood Manor, a haunted house attraction in New York City. He wore medical devices to enable cardiologist Dr. Suzanne Steinbaum to monitor his heart rate in real time.
Yeah, this is crazy, this article. So Jeff Rosen actually went into Blood Manor, and they put a heart monitor on him. And so basically, when you go into a haunted house, there are the hormones that rush through your system. It's a fight or flight syndrome, basically. And these hormones can increase your heart rate and your blood pressure. And so this is what happened to him. Before he went in, excuse me, his heart rate was, relatively low, but it jumped up to 100 beats a minute. And when he was scared at certain times and startled, it actually went past 125 all the way up to 138 and actually reached as high as 146. So being scared made his body react as if he was exercising really hard. This article is so funny because it's got pictures that they took in the dark of what he looks like being scared. I'm sorry, I'm looking at them right now and they're very um, so, and his heart rate was actually still high when he exited the attraction, but and as they said to him, you'll be fine if you're a healthy adult, but if you had a heart condition, they really don't suggest that you go into haunted houses. And when asked what would be a potentially dangerous heart rate, there's a really easy way the doctors say to calculate it, which I've never heard of this before. They say, take the number 220 and subtract your age. And if your heart rate goes above that many beats per minute, then you are at risk for having an irregular heartbeat. That risk goes up. So that's 220 minus your age. And if your heart rate goes above that number, then you are at risk for having issues in the future. Of course, for us, doing quick math, I think that I'm probably supposed to be at a much lower number anyway. But just a fun, article to talk about when it was Halloween season. But interesting. That's why I don't go in them.
It's very interesting to keep in mind. There is a second component, which my doctor had originally shared with me when I brought up my love of haunted houses. And his component for me was, Greg, you were on enough medication that it should, in theory, choke some of that response as far as heart rate and blood pressure. I definitely don't feel the same way watching horror films, so I don't know if being on a beta blocker does control that a little bit. But like you had said, I don't know if even my love of haunted houses, I'm not sure if it's worth it.
Now, Lala, do you go into haunted houses? Are you a haunted house aficionado?
I feel like I would get arrested because when I'm scared, I just want to punch like the scary monsters. But I actually did have this question last week. I actually went to a corn maze thing with my friends, and there was like a haunted version. I was like, I don't know if I should be doing that, so let me not do that just in case.
That's so great. That's so funny that you just reach out and punch things. I love that so much.
I'm like, oh.
I love everything about that.
It's the best response. I mean, if we're really, that's what they should be striving for. It's fight or flight. I think they have to assume that certain people would fight.
Yeah. I think I learned it when I was little because I definitely would freeze and then it would be too late to run away.
Gosh, that's so funny. Kevin says I vacation too much and what? I'm a big fairy. Absolutely. At 150 million%. There's no such thing, my friend, as vacationing too much. You see, I have a whole table full here of pennies and nickels and dimes, and they go into many different jars. And then you hope at the end of the year, when you spend a lot of time, that you've acquired enough loose change, because there's a lot of it that materializes here, to afford a nice little vacation. And having a timeshare that you missed out on during COVID really helped significantly. But yeah. Go Browns. Hey, Bo.
I'm glad Bo was able to join us. And yes, go Browns. Go Brownies.
Hey, one of the things that we posted that did not make it to the website, which since we're wrapping up right now, we're talking a little bit about Halloween, was your favorite candy. So I'm not going to read. I mean, the choices were candy corn, Skittles, Butterfinger, Reese's, M&M's, Kit Kat, Snickers, Whoppers. I'm just curious what your guys' favorite candy is, if any.
For me, I think it depends on the day.
Okay.
Today, I would probably say like M&M's.
M&M's is a good one. Do I know yours, Greg? What's yours? No.
I would lean towards the old peanut butter cups. Anything in the Reese's family, to be honest with you, because I'm a Reese's Pieces fan also. I think that goes back.
Have we ever
do
dark chocolate peanut M&Ms? You like those? Yes.
I do like the dark chocolate. I actually yeah, it's very little that I don't like that's combined peanut butter and chocolate. So I will tend to lean towards that. the Butterfinger family and stuff like that. The only thing that I know, and I know a lot of people are cringy on this, that little off the beaten path, is I'm a giant Mounds fan. I
Ugh.
will take dark chocolate and coconut any day of the week.
So you're not an Almond Joy, you're a Mount. Ooh,
I don't think I've ever had those.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. You know, last night as I handed out candy, freezing outside, every time somebody came for candy, I felt I had to eat a piece. So it's just at the bottom of the bowl. I hid my wrappers because my husband would come out. Why do you need more? I just refilled it. I'm like, I mean, well, it was probably chocolate all around my mouth. I dive right in for this crackle. I just because you can't. I don't get crackle other than Halloween. Crackle,
That's
Snickers, Twix.
absolutely, I will say that I'm a giant Crackle fan. And because miniatures only show up really Halloween or Christmas, you can't get your hands on Crackle the same way.
No, and miniatures are great because I really don't want to eat a whole Snickers because that's like a lot. And you know, I might have done that 30 years ago, but now you just that little bite size and you just say, that's like my little nighttime treat. And I hid all the blow pops. They're all hidden in my drawer and nobody's home. I hid them in my drawer because I love those blow pops. Yeah. Okay.
And we learn something about Karen every day.
Yes. And David Huntley says, hi, hello. Smarties, no, I know, I totally hear you. I feel you on the Smarties. They got like that perfect sweet sour, like I just salivated, sweet sour, and then you get the little crunch because they're thinner.
There is that whole thing, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to classify it, and it's stereotypical towards candy, and I'm going to apologize for the stereotype, but there are people that legitimately love what others refer to as the garbage candies, which would be like the Necco wafers, the
Uh,
Smarties of the world, the circus peanuts, the candy corn. These are all the ones that are just basically an excuse to eat corn syrup. Um, but they hit the spot.
yeah. So what a great segue right into what was on this past week. There was National Candy Corn Day.
National Candy Corn Day.
I think that's right.
Did we have a post about that?
We did. Do you want me just to read it? I hate coconut too, Kevin Thomas, just like you. I mean, and I hate coconut. I
I
hate
don't
it.
understand how you can hate coconut.
Oh, bleh,
I don't get it.
bleh. Lala, I hear you laughing. You hate coconut.
So I love real coconut, but I hate artificial flavored coconut. You know what I mean? It's like different.
I like coconut in my pina colada.
Exactly. It's delicious.
Right. Especially
I
with
will take coconut any way I can get it. Dark chocolate. I don't understand, Karen, how, I mean, I don't want to throw you under the bus. I don't understand as a fellow tribe member of me that you did not grow up getting coconut patties at any point from Florida, but you might not have had family members that lived in Florida.
No, I look all year round for those Passover chocolate covered marshmallows as a fellow tribe member. Like they are the greatest things ever.
Yes, those
Listen,
marshmallow twists. I will take the the cherry twists.
no, you're my
Yes,
father. They're so gross.
it's not gross. Why would
Marshmallow
you boring marshmallow?
and
Cherry.
not
The
pink
cherries are
marshmallow.
fantastic.
No, but you know what we're getting ready to have, which I could tear through a bag of that gelt. I just bite that tinfoil, rip it right off, and shove those
But
chocolate
okay,
coins right in
so
my mouth.
as a fellow tribe member, coconut macaroons. You said you like real coconut. Where do you stand on coconut macaroons?
I do like chocolate macaroons.
Yes, chocolate covered coconut
But I
macaroons.
will not do chocolate chip because I can taste too much of the coconut.
Oh my God.
On that note, would you like me to read all about National Candy Corn Day?
Yes, you can read it.
All right, so enjoy a handful of this sweet fall treat, and what perfect timing. National Candy Corn Day fell right before Halloween, and this means that you can eat plenty of it then or now or tomorrow, because who doesn't love eating candy corn? So it is enjoyed all year long, and you can put it in a, I love this article, place it in a candy dish at any time of the year and watch it disappear by the handful. Actually, candy corn was invented, believe it or not, in the 1880s by George Renninger, and was first, it looks like, manufactured by the Wonderly Candy Company. I can never pronounce, is it Gellets? I think they're in Maryland. That's new candy company that did the first mass manufacturing and distribution around the turn of the century. And here we go. Candy corn is primarily corn syrup, honey, and sugar. Lots and lots of carbs, but it's fat-free. And when you eat candy corn, you know you have to eat the white tip first, and then the orange, and lastly the yellow. Thank you. Mic drop on that.
And she has her opinions. And like I said, corn syrup, honey, and sugar, garbage candy, but enjoyable nonetheless.
How do you eat candy corn?
I shovel it into my
You just
pie
go.
hole.
I do exactly what you're saying, Karen.
Anyway,
I'm
but
with
I
you.
understand at the same time what you're saying about, but like,
Lala and I just virtual hand high five.
yeah, I know, I see it. I don't have the time to sit there and invest in how I eat it like that.
I got 2 more questions just to see how in sync she and I are. When you eat a Twizzler, do you just, or do you with the front teeth?
I don't eat Twizzlers. They're disgusting.
Okay.
See, everybody has their own opinion about what is a garbage candy to them.
They taste like plastic mixed with strawberries.
They do. That is true. Okay, what about an Oreo cookie? And then we can move on.
Oreo cookie, definitely eat the white cream and
Right.
then the cookies. Mm-hmm.
You have to pull them apart.
Exactly, 100%. Otherwise, it tastes weird.
Right,
Yeah,
it's just a waste.
So what I'm learning now is that the females that I know in the community never grow up from how you eat stuff as a 4-year-old and graduate
Correct.
to like being an adult and biting the cookie.
Absolutely. Like, who doesn't cut their peanut butter and jelly in half or even take off the edges, because that's disgusting. You don't eat the outside. You and if someone hands me a sandwich and it's not cut, I'll hand it back and be like, well, you didn't finish it. Cut the sandwich.
Please clip my crust for me.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. PSA.
I support that. That's an accurate statement.
Yeah, so Bo says that double stuffed are the best, and nobody here is going to argue with him, I believe. And
I support Kevin's statement 100% too. It takes one to know one on the opinion front.
Yes, Kevin stated that Karen has opinions, and she is not denying it.
I am not denying it.
Listen, hey, we're all here potentially to hear some of our opinions, so.
I have a good job.
Yeah.
That I do.
Yeah, and at this point, nobody can argue. We are having a discussion to bring forth our opinions. So with that, though, we have pretty much wrapped our week. I know you wanted to talk about an upcoming event.
Yeah. So first of all, for anybody who's watching live right now or sees this today or tomorrow, we have a support group meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's information on the website and on our Facebook page on how to join that. Register for free, one time only. In addition, we have a really great weekend that's coming up. Yes, it is the New York City Marathon coming up on Sunday. However, Aortichope will be in attendance at an aortic center dedication and medical conference on Friday morning at Montefiore Hospital, as well as this amazing concert for Paul Kors, Dr. Paul Kors. It's for his foundation. And Dr. Kors did unfortunately pass from a misdiagnosed aortic dissection a couple of years ago. And this foundation, it raises money to give to individuals who, to support them in the music community, as well as to give money to other organizations that support the aortic efforts. So we will be attending that as well. And we're really excited to be invited to potentially speak and to partake in these festivities. So anybody that's in the New York area, we do have information about that as well. And we'd love to see you. Love for you to come out and say hi. So busy week ahead. Busy.
Always seems like there's something, right? Busy.
Lots of stuff this month. Oh yeah, well, you know what? We're getting ready to announce this week. We have first ever for aortichope, our book readings month. We've got 4 community members who are authors who have authored either poetry or books about their condition and about some insight as to how they navigated through this disease. And they're going to come on live and they're going to read a portion of their published work, and they're going to take questions from the community. So we're really excited to be able to offer that to people. It's the first time we've done this. I know I can't wait to talk to some of these authors that are also members of the community. So that's pretty exciting. That's happening this month. But you got to like and subscribe and hit the little bell, bing, bing, so that you'll be notified about everything as it's happening and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we are wrapped up for this week's Week in Review. And
Thank you, Lala.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Anytime. Come join us every Monday. We would love to have you. And Kevin and Bo and David. Did I miss anybody else who was watching live? Kurt, we missed Kurt. If any of you would like to join us live, we'd love to have you on board with us as well to help banter around. We've got some great articles that are happening this week. Can't wait to share them with you next week.
Fantastic. So for me and Karen and Lala, thank you so much for coming. And like Karen said, make sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you all next week.
Thanks. So David's done this marathon evidently quite a few times, and I'm sorry that you're going to miss it this year. I can only imagine. I have walked briskly a 10K because this body doesn't run. Maybe if someone yelled fire. So hats off to you for having done a marathon, let alone many. And yes, Bo, LOL. Yeah. Thanks so much.